Starting Pokémon Legends ZA can feel overwhelming fast. Lumio City is massive, wild Pokémon are aggressive, and early resources are limited in ways the game never fully explains. If you go in blind, you'll struggle way more than necessary. But here's the thing most players don't realize. The early game isn't balanced evenly. Some Pokémon are ridiculously strong right from the start and completely break the difficulty curve if you catch them early. These Pokémon can carry your team, save you hours of grinding, and turn frustrating battles into easy wins. And yes, most players walk right past them without realizing how powerful they really are. Number 1. Luxray, the early game bully. I don't know what it is about Luxray, but I've always loved this Pokémon. Ever since it first appeared, if I can catch one early, even when there are technically better options, it almost always ends up on my team. The design is just too cool, and honestly, I can't help it. Luxray is one of those Pokémon that feels unfair when you use it early. It hits incredibly hard, evolves quickly, and has stats that outperform almost everything you'll face in the first hours of the game. Its Intimidate ability alone trivializes many early encounters by lowering enemy attack before the fight even begins. That single detail can mean the difference between surviving comfortably or constantly healing after battles. Even before full evolution, Luxio already has access to strong coverage moves that most early Pokémon simply don't. If you want raw power with minimal effort, Luxray is one of the safest and strongest choices you can make. Number 2. Riolu. Weak at first, broken later. Now Riolu is a funny one. In almost every Pokémon game, if you search for early game playthroughs online, there's a huge chance you'll see someone using it. This thing is insanely popular, and yeah, I'm guilty too. It's basically my Luxray in a different form. At first glance, Riolu looks like a risky pick. It's fragile, doesn't hit very hard early on, and can feel underwhelming compared to flashier options. But this is where patience pays off. Riolu evolves into Lucario much earlier than most players expect if you play it correctly, and once that happens, the difficulty curve collapses. Lucario brings balanced stats, incredible typing, and access to some of the best move options in the game. If you're willing to invest early, Riolu rewards you tenfold and remains relevant well beyond the early game. Quick pause real fast. If this video is helping you start Pokémon Legends Z the right way, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We post Pokémon guides, secrets, and tips that save you time and frustration. Number 3. Noivern. Speed kills. Noibat might not look impressive at first, but its speed is absolutely ridiculous for the early game. It outspeeds most enemies you'll encounter, which already gives it a massive advantage. Once it evolves into Noivern, that speed becomes lethal. It dodges attacks, controls the pace of battles, and dominates many flying and special encounters with ease. Yes, it's fragile, but when used correctly, Noivern rarely gets hit in the first place. In the hands of a smart player, speed is often stronger than raw defense. Number 4. Scyther. Pure early aggression. Scyther is built for one thing: ending fights before they even start. Its combination of speed and attack makes early enemies melt almost instantly. It requires almost no setup, no complicated strategy, and no special conditions. You send it out, attack, and watch health bars disappear. What makes Scyther even better is its long-term value. It transitions perfectly into Scizor later on, meaning your early investment keeps paying off well into the game. Number 5. Houndoom. Dark/Fire pressure early game. Houndoom is one of those Pokémon that feels way stronger than it should this early in the game. Its Dark and Fire typing gives it excellent coverage against many early threats, especially in tighter city encounters where battles happen fast and mistakes are punished. Even before evolving, Houndoom hits surprisingly hard and pressures opponents with constant damage. Fire-type moves help deal with common early enemies, while Dark-type attacks give it an edge against Pokémon that rely on tricks or status effects. Once it evolves into Houndoom, the power spike is immediate. Strong special attack, good speed, and intimidating presence make it a Pokémon that can easily carry fights you were never meant to win this early. If you want offense and fear factor, Houndoom delivers both. Number 6. Eevee. Adaptability is power. Eevee's real strength isn't raw stats, it's flexibility. Early evolutions allow you to adapt your team based on what you're missing or struggling against. Whether you need bulk, speed, or special damage, Eevee has an answer. And those early evolutions often come with massive power spikes that feel almost unfair at that stage of the game. Few Pokémon scale this well this early while still giving you so much control over your team's direction. Eevee turns uncertainty into advantage. Number 7. Haunter Ghost Advantage. Ghost types dominate certain early areas in Legends ZA, and Haunter takes full advantage of that. Its speed and special attack let it shred enemies that aren't prepared to deal with ghost moves. Many early opponents simply don't have the tools to counter it properly, which makes encounters feel laughably one-sided. Once it evolves into Gengar, things get even more absurd. But even as Haunter, it already punches far above its weight in the early game. Number 8. Heracross. High risk, huge damage. Heracross hits incredibly hard for how early you can obtain it. When it connects, enemies feel it immediately. It does require smarter positioning and timing since it isn't the fastest Pokémon around, but when used correctly, it deletes threats before they become a problem. If you enjoy aggressive playstyles and high damage output, Heracross rewards confidence and punishes hesitation. Number 9. Umbreon, the wall that never falls. Umbreon might not look like an early game monster, but its defensive power is insane. It absorbs damage that would destroy other Pokémon and keeps going. In longer fights or difficult encounters, Umbreon gives you breathing room. It stabilizes your team and lets you recover when things go wrong. While it doesn't end fights quickly, it wins them slowly and safely, which can be even more valuable early on. Number 10. Fletchling to Talonflame, speed dominance. Fletchling might not look impressive at first, but don't let that fool you. From the moment you catch it, speed becomes its greatest weapon. In early Pokémon Legends ZA encounters, acting first often decides the battle, and this line excels at exactly that. As it evolves into Flinchender and later Talonflame, it turns into a relentless hit-and-run monster. Flying-type mobility, fast attacks, and strong fire moves allow it to control fights before enemies even get a chance to react. Talonflame shines especially in open city areas and vertical environments where positioning matters. It avoids damage, punishes slower opponents, and makes early game exploration safer and faster. Few Pokémon offer this much speed and utility so early. Number 11. Garchomp. Early Gible, Snowball potential. Gible starts slow, but once it gets going, it snowballs harder than almost anything else early on. Its raw power is undeniable. As it evolves, its stats quickly outpace the curve, turning it into a threat enemies simply aren't built to handle yet. If you commit early, Gible repays you with dominance that lasts far beyond the opening hours. Number 12. Gallade. Precision and power. Gallade brings a unique mix of speed, precision, and raw damage. Early access to fighting and psychic coverage makes it extremely versatile. It excels at picking apart enemy teams and punishing mistakes. When used correctly, battles feel clean and controlled. Gallade rewards players who think ahead, and that mindset is exactly what separates struggling runs from smooth ones. Catching even a few of these Pokémon early can completely change your experience in Pokémon Legends ZA. The game becomes less about grinding and frustration and more about smart decisions that actually reward you for paying attention. Strong team building will always outperform brute force leveling. Choosing the right Pokémon early saves time, makes battles smoother, and lets you enjoy the game the way it was meant to be played. Exploring, experimenting, and discovering what most players miss. And if you're a Pokémon fan beyond just the game itself, I've left a link in the description and in the pinned comment with Pokémon merch and collectibles, things like action figures, plushies, and cards that true Pokémon fans usually love. If this guide helped you, make sure you're subscribed for more Pokémon Legends content coming very soon.